Today, I wanted to talk about one of the most popular alternative therapy methods out there. You've probably seen many of them on whatever you do on Instagram or just when you're scrolling through looking for alternative therapy methods. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about these things, essential oils. So, let's get started. Okay, so with essential oils, there's some things that you need to know about essential oils. Now, what are essential oils? Essential oils are basically compounds extracted from plants that capture the plant scent and flavor. So, these things are usually obtained from this distillation, which is basically from water or steam. And it's also recommended to stay clear of oils that are obtained from any chemical process. You want the natural plant scent and the natural plant flavor. So anything that has chemical processing, avoid at all costs. So how these things work is the essential oils, they are inhaled or diluted, and then they are rubbed on the skin. When the oils are applied to your skin, the plant chemicals are absorbed. And what happens is when the plant's chemicals are absorbed, it stimulates your limbic system. Now, if you don't know what the limbic system is, let me give you a little psychology lesson. The limbic system is where it's the part of your brain that plays a role in your emotions, behaviors, sense of smell, and long term memory. The limbic system also plays on the role in controlling unconscious physiological functions such as breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. So straight off the bat, these things sound like they do a lot. They do really well. If it plays a huge part in the limbic system. For those that have bad memory, for those that have like very bad negative thoughts and emotions, this sounds really good. So let's look further into it. Now I'm going to talk about some of the more popular essential oils. Now there are many, many different kinds. There's like over 90 at least. But these are like the 10 most popular ones. And I'll give you my opinion on the three that I would use if I'm talking to myself. So the first one is peppermint. Now, peppermint is used to boost energy and help with digestion. So when I first saw this, it just sounds perfect for those that like exercising. You all have those days where you just feel really exhausted and don't want to get up and work out. This sounds perfect. Get a real like energy boost and just go out and just work out. And it also helps with digestion, so that's good. Next is lavender. Now, lavender is used for stress relief. So this would be great for those that are really anxious and get riled up a lot. Your amygdala is basically on overdrive. Like you can't every decision just sounds like and feels like really bad. Like you just don't know like what's the outcome, so you just get scared. You tighten up, you're frantic. This would be perfect for those that have like anxiety and stress issues. Now the next one is sandalwood. Now sandalwood is used to calm nerves and help with focus. So this is essentially best for like people that have a hard time staying on task. They can't really focus and do their work. They're kind of just like lagging off and just doing whatever, like doing unproductive things. So this would be good for people like maybe to keep at an office, so you can stay on track, and it calms your nerves. So it's like it works double. It just complements that. And it'll also be good to pair with meditation, because meditation essentially does that. It helps you calm your nerves and it helps with focus. Now the next one is called bergamot. Bergamot is used to reduce stress and improve skin conditions. So if you ever have a terrible skin condition, bergamot has you covered, and also helps reduce stress, which is good as well. Now the next one is rose. Rose is used to improve mood and reduce anxiety. It's perfect for anyone with depression and anxiety. You have a rose like maybe like in your room or like in your office space, and it just helps you with your anxiety and with your mood. So, next one is chamomile, which is used for improving mood and relaxation. So, this is another perfect one for those meditation people out there and those that do yoga. It's good with improving mood and relaxation. That's essentially what happens when you do meditation and you do yoga. So, also a double positive right there. Now, the next one is called Lang Lang, which is used to treat headaches, nausea, and skin conditions. So, the first oil that really works on headaches, especially in the summertime, you get headaches, especially like if you're going through constant like stressful situations, you're gonna get a headache because things may just seem like too hard and life is just getting at you. We all have those times. Lang Lang would be perfect for that, you know just to help you out. And then the next one is tea tree. Tea tree is used to fight infections and boost immunity. Now, this is another great one just to help with like your immune system, especially if you were someone that used a lot of negative coping strategies like smoking and drinking and just like someone that is an obsessive eater. Like this one's like best for you because like when you do that for a long time, like your immune system gets worse and worse. So this will help you stay back on track with your immune system. The next one is called jasmine. And jasmine is used to help with depression, childbirth, and libido. Now, if you don't know what libido is, that's basically your sex drive. So let's say if you have an overactive like libido, you have a high sex drive, jasmine could be used to calm it down. Or if you're someone with a low sex drive, jasmine could be used to help bring it back up. So, and childbirth, I would say this is more for women. Like this oil would be best for women instead of men. So, let's get on with the last one. Last one is called lemon. And lemon is used to aid digestion, mood, headaches, and more. So, this one does basically, this is kind of like a mixture of other oils that you have. You have digestion, mood, headaches, and even more. So, it's basically a jack of all trades. So, in my opinion, if I had to pick 3 oils, the 3 that I would pick if I was getting oils, I would definitely get sandalwood, used to calm nerves and help with focus. I just think that because sometimes I get off task and just like do whatever, and I know I'm supposed to be doing something important, so I think that would help me out. Another one I would get would definitely be tea tree, used to fight infections and boost immunity. Even though I'm someone that never gets sick and is always pretty much healthy for the most part, I think that would just help it even more just to make myself not sick anymore. And the last one I would use out of this would be rose, used to improve mood and reduce anxiety. Mood and anxiety are like the two most things. And so if you can be focused and have an improvement in mood and your anxiety is reduced and pair that along with fighting infections and boosting immunity, that just sounds like a perfect 1, 2, 3 punch combo right there. So yeah, let's get on with some of the studies that was found. So essentially, does essential oils work, and what have been, has anything proven that it's worked, and has there been anything that proved that it hasn't worked? So let's check that out right now. Now we're on an article on Healthline about essential oils and what essential oils are. So this is a study that's based on stress, anxiety, and depression. The first one says It has been estimated that 43% of people who have stress and anxiety use some form of alternative therapy to help with their condition. Now, it says alternative therapy, but it doesn't list essential oils. It's not specific enough. There could be something else with alternative therapy that they're using. And it doesn't say how they got this estimate of 43%. And when you click on this article here, you get to this, which is a study where they tested it on mice and rats and not any humans. So you can't really rely on this. So how do you make an estimate on humans when you tested mice and rats? So that doesn't sound really credible or really something to help essential oils in this case. So let's go to the next one. Regarding aromatherapy, initial studies have been quite positive. Many have shown that the smell of some essential oils can work as a complementary therapy to treat anxiety and stress. So this one's saying that it's best to use it along with some other forms of therapy and not let it be like a standalone therapy method. So let's see. So the first article that was referenced, looking at the results here, is the individuals exposed to the test aroma, which was the sweet orange essential oil right here, presented a lack of significant alterations in state anxieties, subjective tension, and tranquility levels throughout the anxiogenic situation, revealing that an anxiolytic activity of sweet orange essential oil. Physiologic alterations along the test were not prevented in any treatment group and has been previously been observed for diazepam. So, and then conclusions. This is important. Although more studies are needed to find out the clinical relevance of aromatherapy for anxiety disorders, this one says that there needs to be more studies found and that this isn't necessarily, this is just like a step in the right direction, but there needs to be more. But this was made in 2012, so that was a long time ago. If we look at the next study, which was made in 2011, if we look at the results, it says most of the studies indicated positive effects to quell anxiety. No adverse events were reported. Conclusions. It is better that aromatherapy could be applied as a complementary therapy for people with anxiety symptoms. So, to also saying that they should have further studies and that this should be used as a complementary therapy and not necessarily by itself. So let's go to the next. It says, however, due to the scent of the compounds, it's hard to conduct blinded studies and rule out biases. Because of this, many reviews on the stress and anxiety relieving effects of essential oils have been inconclusive. So let's see this one. So the most important part is this right here. The effects of aromatherapy are probably not strong enough for it to be considered for the treatment of anxiety. The hypothesis that it is effective for any other indication is not supported by the findings of rigorous clinical trials. So it sounds like there's been many trials of basically aromatherapy and essential oils, and it says that it's just not strong enough to really say that it works as well as it's been advertised and promoted. So this is the last one based on this point right here, these 3 points right here. So this article that says at the end, that says, for none of the conditions was the evidence convincing. Several SRs of aromatherapy have been recently published. Due to a number of caveats, the evidence is not sufficiently convincing that aromatherapy is an effective therapy for any condition. So this study is saying that it's just it's not enough. Like most of the systematic reviews were of poor methodological quality, and they tested hypertension, depression, anxiety, pain relief, and dementia. So it's saying that the findings weren't like the studies weren't even good enough to really test it, and that makes sense because the essential oils are not something that like humans can really like necessarily like inject. Like they can't really put it in their mouth. Like all essential oils say avoid like contact with eyes or like in consumption. So it's really hard to kind of test if it works because it's just something that is absorbed through the skin. So most of the like some of the studies are basically like test tube studies where they tested the effects basically in a test tube. So it's not tested on any humans or any animals. So if we go here, recent studies have found positive effects against headaches, okay? But in the bottom again, however, more high quality studies are needed on this. Most of the studies for sleep and insomnia have been positive. For inflammation, however, very few human studies have examined the effects of these oils on inflammatory diseases. Their effectiveness and safety are unknown. Antibiotic and antimicrobial. However, while test tube study results are interesting, they do not necessarily reflect what's happening within your body. They don't prove that a particular essential oil could effectively treat bacterial infections in humans. So essentially most of these studies are saying that it's not necessarily effective, or it is effective, but they can't really explain how it's effective because it's hard to really test these oils to see if they really have like a good effect on you. So it's basically, to me, it sounds like a hit or miss or like a shot in the dark. Like it could work, but it could not work. And essential oils is aromatherapy, even in general, has been something that's been out forever. Like it's been out for a very long time. And the fact that there's just not enough studies doesn't necessarily help its case as to why essential oils is like a great thing for people to use. So, again, other uses, however, results of their effectiveness have been mixed. And this is talking about just cosmetics. Maybe you want your house to smell good, so you use oils to make it smell good as a type of aromatherapy. To check for its purity, its quality, and reputation. You don't just want to buy any type of essential oils if you are looking for essential oils. You want to make sure that all of the ingredients are pure and it actually has the plant's name instead of just saying lavender. You want to check if the quality's good and you want to check if it has a good reputation. Essential oils are generally considered safe to inhale or apply to the skin as long as they have been combined with a base oil. They should not be eaten. However, the evidence for many of the health claims is lacking and their effectiveness is often exaggerated. For minor health problems, using essential oils as a complementary therapy is probably okay. But if you have a serious health condition or are taking medication, you should discuss their use with your doctor. So basically, in the conclusion, that they're saying that essential oils is essentially not necessarily worth it. They're just saying that there's just not enough studies to prove its effectiveness and if it works. So this article was made in 2017. So I wanted to see if there was anything current day in 2019 to maybe help the argument of essential oils. So this is basically another article, last updated January 9th on 2019. So This is exactly right. Essential oils are hot right now. From treating infections through to anxiety and poor sleep, they are said to be a natural cure for many health conditions. But just how well do essential oils work? This section is under the title Are Essential Oils Safe? And it states a 2012 review published in the International Journal of Risk and Safety in Medicine found that lavender, peppermint, tea tree, and ylang ylang oil were the most common essential oils responsible for adverse effects. There was even one documented fatality. So if you looked at the old article that I was referencing here, you could see that the most popular types, all of those, ylang ylang, tea tree, lavender, and peppermint were the most popular types, and these are the ones that are more responsible for adverse effects. This is the most important thing about essential oils right here. This part, this section of the article. Essential oils and aromatherapy are unregulated. While prescription drugs must undergo rigorous safety and effectiveness testing before being approved, essential oils are automatically classified as safe. The International Organization for Standardization does have a set of standards for each type of essential oil, but these are not mandatory nor enforced by any lawmakers. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, considers essential oils a cosmetic. So essentially a cosmetic, that means it's not necessarily a therapy method if it's just a cosmetic. That's more of like what we saw before, just like having like a scent in your house. So let's keep going. So manufacturers are not required to prove their effectiveness, purity, or potency. The same goes for aromatherapy, which you are permitted to practice without a license. So you basically have people practicing and promoting essential oils, and they don't necessarily have to go through any license or any procedure to make sure that they are expertise or that they 100% know what they're doing. You could basically just be anybody and just say essential oils, come get your essential oils. It's very effective, but you don't really hear great studies to back it up or any concrete evidence to support it. As essential oils are unregulated, any claims they can treat a health condition classifies it as an unproven drug. This is illegal. The company Young Living Essential Oils had salespeople doing this until the FDA caught up with them. So basically, if you're someone in a company that's talking about essential oils and how well they work and that they can treat health conditions, even though it's not proven and that there's not enough evidence or studies saying that essential oils work, it's saying that's illegal. Like, you can't do that. Like, that's a huge thing. But let's keep going. That's a really huge thing that I feel like you see more and more people talking about these things, like these oils, but you don't really hear any evidence to help it out. So this is the last part. These regulatory loopholes, alongside dishonest multi-level marketing, has led to increasingly more eccentric and unproven health claims surrounding essential oils. Therefore, it's important that we have a conservative mindset and do some of our own research, like we should with dietary supplements, before buying into any great promises. So that whole point right there is basically just saying, like, it's like one of those pyramid schemes or those get rich quick schemes. How people claim that you could get so much money if you do X, Y, and Z. You'll get money in a week, stuff like that. So basically saying there's people out there that's just saying that you could get some essential oils. They will just help you right away. Like they can improve this, they can improve this, they can improve that. Depression, many kind of mental health disorders. But there's not enough evidence. So how can they necessarily improve them? They must be using like the oils and like some other form of therapy alongside it. So they may say that the oils help, like the oils work, but they're not necessarily just using oils. Like I haven't really heard anyone say that they just use the oils and it works for people. It's mainly like a combination with the oils, so it's hard to really say that just the oils are effective. To sum it all up, do essential oils work? As is the case with many health foods and supplements, essential oils are not useless, but their effects are extremely overrated. Claims that they help treat or cure cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, asthma, or any other serious medical condition are seriously exaggerated and unproven, and dangerous too, quite frankly. The strongest evidence available indicates that essential oils can help with headaches, sleep quality, and probably facial acne to a noticeable extent. Effects on anxiety, depression, and other psychological aspects are very underwhelming at this stage. And this is this year of 2019. So be careful what you hear or see talking about how well essential oils work. So there's just for these things like anxiety and depression, there's just not enough evidence at this point to say that they work. And again, most people use other forms of therapy alongside these methods to help people. And so any serious conditions, basically saying that it doesn't work, don't believe it. So yeah, that's essentially it. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the price of these oils. So let's say you want to purchase some oils and see if they work for yourself. Why not give it a try? So I want to go over some of the most popular brands for essential oils. So for example, I'll give you 3 examples. There's Young Living, doTERRA, and Plant Therapy. So for Young Living, one bottle of lavender at 15 milliliters will cost you $32. $32. That's a lot for one bottle. And it says 15 milliliters. Keep that in mind. So, this bottle that I showed before, this is 60 milliliters. So just think of 1/4 of this bottle. Or better yet, let me show you this one. This one is 30 milliliters. So just picture half of this bottle. That's essentially $32 of what you're getting. With all the studies and all the things that we just talked about, would that be worth it to you? Ask yourself that. It may be something good for you to try out and see if it helps you. If it helps you, great. Like more power to you. This is not like to say anything bad about it. It's just doing research. And doTERRA for lavender is $23. So it's less. doTERRA is probably the more like trustworthy and noticeable brand that is out there. It seems like they do a lot for like their brand, and they help a lot of people. So doTERRA is probably the number one brand to go for. So it says $23. And then if you look at Plant Therapy, lavender is about $15. So essentially you'll be paying around $15 to $30 per bottle for this. And it's also good to get a oil diffuser. You put a couple drops in there, mix it with water, and there you go. You just have your oils. It's basically something that you don't necessarily have to focus on 100% of the time. It's something that you could just keep in your room, and it's kind of just passive. If it works, then you basically just struck gold with that. It works, and you could keep using it. And if it doesn't work, then you could just toss it out and just not use it. So that's all I just wanted to say. So let me know in the comments if you know anyone that uses essential oils and if it works for them. And or if you haven't, if you're someone that does use essential oils but it hasn't worked for you, let me know what you think about essential oils after watching this video. See you all later.